Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Signal. Today's video, today's stock analysis is Plug Power, symbol PLUG. By the way, I did record this video on Tuesday, November 24th, the year 2020. So before I jump into the charts, let me just at least tell you that in this video, I'm going to show that if you're long Plug or you're considering going long Plug, if it's on your radar, we are in the midst of testing an important ceiling of resistance at 29.91 the month of November, which is dropping on a monthly basis. And until this stock can get above that price point, now it's settled at 26.72 today, that is Tuesday, November 24th. It has a high this month of 28.70, so we've pushed into the zone. But unless we can get up and over this 29.91 level at the end of November, this market, this stock is susceptible to falling back to $19 and change, $18 and change over the next few months, possibly at down to $12.75 or so as we continue into later 2021. So there's that. Now, just truth be told, this stock has rallied almost 1,000% over the last year, from a low of around $3 and change a year ago to 28.70 high just a week or two ago. And so it's on a run. It's a vertical move. And so there's every reason to believe also that we may actually get that settlement above 29.91 at the end of any week. And if so, then you should inversely stay or become invested in Plug well into 2021, in my opinion. For under that buy signal scenario, the 106 region becomes a viable long-term price objective. I'll show you all this in the dozen or so charts in the minutes ahead. But first let's talk a little bit about Plug Power itself. It's actually in the hydrogen fuel cell. It's the architect of modern hydrogen and fuel cell technology. It's an innovator. It's taken hydrogen and fuel cell technology from concept to commercialization. I think it's the largest player in the country, and recently it's raised approximately $1 billion to accelerate the first nationwide green hydrogen network. So there's a lot going on with this company, especially as we continue transitioning from fossil into renewable energies. So let's take a look. Well, before I really jump into the charts, of course, I have to tout my company and the website and the service, wickedsignal.com. Please tell your investor and trader friends about it. Tell them to go to the website, click on the free subscription at the top of the page, and fill out their first, last name, and email address. They will then be the recipient of an email every time a new video is produced. I don't sell you. I don't get sales emails, so forth and so on. None of that. Just the data itself will come to you in your inbox. And I don't share your information, by the way, with anyone outside the company. It all stays in-house. So let's jump into Plug Power. This is just a chart that goes back to the company's origins, really. At least their IPO in 1999 at a low price of $150, shot to $1,565 a share in early 2000, and over the next few years gave it all back and then some, culminating in a low price of 11 cents a share in 2013, and it's trading at 26.72 last with the Tuesday, November 24th settlement. So there's that. I mean, you can see it spent a decade just trading in a very narrow range. I'm going to open this chart up ever so gradually so that we can make sense of some extreme highs and lows and actually draw some price structures here. Channel formations I'm big on. I love their trend define ability, their ability to determine key resistance and support. And you can see this one goes back to almost, 18 years, really. October of 02, we had a $33.90 low, rallied to 106.50 in January of 04, then broke back to $6.60 a share in October of 08. And those are extreme prices. It's the proper way to construct channel formations. And that particular channel top for the month of November is at 29.91. It drops to 28.39 the month of March 2021. That's 4 months apart. You can subtract those out, divide by 4, and you'll have the rate of descent each and every month in between. So you can determine exactly where that channel formation is all the way through March of 2021. If we close any week above that formation, this market elicits a buy signal. I mean, it's already strong, but that would be a clear buy signal well into next year. But until then, it is susceptible now to backing off. Backing off to where? Well, I open up this chart a little bit more, take a look at some of the more extreme lows and highs over the last decade or so. And one of the things I enjoy, or one of the tools I employ, I should say, are the speed line analysis, 1 and 2/3 speed lines. They're also trend defining tools. And I'm using that 2013 low I showed you a moment ago at 11 cents against the recent high at 28.70. I'm not going to get into the details on how to construct these speed lines. I may at some point create a video on them. But the initial support that I think this market is susceptible to testing over the next 1 to 3 months is 19.40 a share, and that comes in for the entire month of December 2020 at 19.40 a share. And ultimately, I think this market could fall all the way south into the low 10s. Now, I see 965 here as the 2/3 speed line, and that becomes kind of a target below 1940. But I'm really putting more credence, paying more respect to this simple horizontal channel structure that you can see here and labeled at 1275. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is, as long as this stock is trading below this 29.91 formation, it is susceptible to falling back over the next, the timing of this is difficult. I've got 1940 as a realistic 1 to 3 month target. If we close below it, then 1275, here we come very quickly within a matter of weeks. So we could get down to 1275 by the end of the first quarter of 2021, or it could take, well into next year to realize, if it is going to be realized. And I'll also add, before I move on to the next chart, that there is a scenario where this stock could actually trade inside the 29.91 ceiling and 12.75 floor well into 2021. We could fill that wedge out for some time to come. Rally is stratospheric, it is vertical, hyperbolic, as they say, and so fading it, in other words, selling calls, buying puts, going short the stock, you've got to be careful. I would wait for 29.91 as a price point before doing so. And I would do it carefully because given this move, closing above 29.91 is certainly possible over the next week or two. And then obviously, that, as I say, it drops to 28.39 by March of 2021. Bottom line, if we close above that formation at the end of any week, then this stock, and I'll show you as we progress through these different charts, I need to show you the double channel extension. In other words, I use this a lot in commodities analysis. It works quite well, especially when there's not a lot to grab in terms of key price points. I mean, I have Fibonacci retracement levels on the way up, but we're talking against that $1,565 high from the year 2000 against the 11-cent low. And so I don't know exactly where the 3/8 pullback is, but it's well above this 106.68 channel top, or the 50%, or the 5/8 all the way up. So almost a moot point as to what Fibonacci may be telling us. At this point in time, I like the full channel extension. I think it's realistic. So if, by the way, we were to close at the end of any week or in any month above 29.21, or wherever that formation is on a month-by-month basis, then the 106.68 full channel extension becomes a viable target. Realizable. Obviously the timing of that is difficult. This stock has seen some very volatile moves in its early days. Could it take less than a year? Perhaps. Could it take every bit of 2 or 3 years? Perhaps. The timing is difficult to say, but what I like about that 106.68, formation is it lines up nicely with that 106.50 showed you earlier in January of 2004. So there's reason to believe we could actually get up in that zone if, and only if, in my opinion, we close any week, followed certainly by a monthly settlement above that 29.21 descending channel top. Until then, though, just a reminder, this market is susceptible to falling back. And, you can see, here's an image, actually, of the full chart once again and where those formations are that I just showed you. I mean, you can see the reality, the possibility of reaching that 106.68 area, because in the overall scheme of things, in the overall history of this stock, it's still just a minor move. And I'll just leave you with that. That's all I've got to say for this particular Plug Power video.